Hello there, my name is Mo with my co-host Corey. We are The Real Guys, and this is The Real Show with 2 E's. Today, are you an airbender, an earthbender, a waterbender, or a firebender? Earth, air, water, fire. Long ago, and then I'm not going to do the whole thing.
The
Even
whole...
though I probably, yeah, do the entire intro to the show. No. But as always, I'm with my co-host Corey. How are you doing today, Corey?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Very well, and you can listen to us on Amazon, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasts, your audio platforms. We are there. You can listen to us. We are, of course, doing Avatar: The Last Airbender, but not the animated show, not the famous cartoon,
the really bad
Nickelodeon
film.
Cartoon, that or Cartoon Network. Do you know where did it air?
Nickelodeon, I think.
Okay. I was going to say Cartoon Network, but I think that was the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
The famous cartoon animated show, and now an action show by Netflix, brought to life, and we've got a whole new cast, a whole new first season. We're going to delve into that. We're going to delve into the pilot of the first season and things that happen later on in the show, and what we know of the Avatar world and fandom and genus as we continue.
Yeah.
So Corey, give us a bit of a brief on Avatar. Say the layman would come to you and say, Corey, what is perhaps in some situations, Corey, you are the layman, but
okay.
say the layman has come to you and said, Corey, what is this? What is this Avatar: The Last Airbender? What do I need to know?
What
would you tell them?
This is an adaptation of the cartoon, which essentially has 4 tribes, as you would call them, which is like you said in the start: fire, earth, air, and water. They all get along until eventually, essentially, they don't, and the Fire Nation goes, actually, we want to be in charge now, so we're just going to wipe away all the airbenders because they've got the Avatar, and we're going to rule everyone. Until Aang comes out of the ice and is like, "Oh, I am around, and I'm just gonna hello, Sokka, hello,
Sokka,
and hello everyone else. You can teach me, your thing. I will help teach you, and we will join forces." And also, this nice guy called Uncle Arrow, who everyone knows, who drinks jasmine tea.
Yeah. And that, well done.
I do.
Yes, he does drink jasmine tea. Iroh drinks some jasmine tea. That's right.
He does. You ever had jasmine tea?
But for the reboot, no, I've not had jasmine tea. Have you had jasmine tea before?
I have not.
Okay. But what we have here, we have the Avatar, who is Aang, who comes back after 100 years of being away.
Yep.
Unlike the cartoon, this is something that is our first departure, let's say, because this is an adaptation.
Yep.
I call it an adaptation. I don't say it's not a shot-for-shot recreation of the cartoon. This is an adaptation. And in an adaptation, what is the first thing you do? You adapt.
Yes.
So, and they have adapted to show us more of the background of the Airbenders. The attack of the first Fire Lord. Basically how the entire war started and how the entire conquest of the Fire Nation began.
Yeah. Which essentially starts off with these one earthbender who's inside a fire temple. He's got this scroll in his hand and he's running away.
Yep.
Passes it to his mate and he's like, give that to the Earth Temple because they're going to go to war. They're going to go to war on us. But we're not.
Yes, indeed.
But I don't think they're going to go to war on us.
Yeah. And of course, we have the century ago. It was Aang. People say he was doubting. He was afraid of his responsibilities, and he didn't want to be hailed as the new Avatar. And he had to fly away, and that's when the Fire Nation decided to attack the Air Temple, and all of his friends, but of course people know that the Avatar always comes back in a different body each time. The Avatar is the only master of all four elements. So there used to be an Avatar previously, Avatar Roku, who was the fire version of the Avatar, and the next Avatar would be an Airbender.
Yep.
So he decided to wipe out all the Airbenders to make sure no Avatar returns. But the Avatar decided to return, and he suspended himself in suspended animation in an iceberg near the South Pole, so near the Southern Water Tribes. And there we get the Fire Lord, who is Fire Lord Sozin at the time, and he declares war on all the other nations to expand the nation's empire. And after carrying out a genocide against the air nomads, he uses the power of the comet at the time, which I think is
Yes.
mentioned in the first episode. I know
It is
there's a
mentioned
lot
in
of
the
it in the
first
cartoon.
episode, yeah.
And at the end of the series, we do get the talk of the comet coming back. Chosen's comet, which gives Airbenders sort of more power in the night time, I suppose. And then we go to 100 years, find Aang and bring him back.
And that's essentially most of the first episode at that point.
Yeah. And who else is with Aang?
Well, you've got Appa, his air bison,
Mm-hmm.
who is with Sokka is there, as he always is.
The flying bison Appa, who is his friend.
Yeah.
And his animal companion.
Yes.
And the power of his animal companion is that as a flying bison, he can indeed fly.
He can fly. He's really good at flying.
He's really good at flying. Very very skilled at flying. What do you have to say to launch Appa, Corey?
Like a good question. I can't know. Tell me, Murray.
Oh. What would
What would I say? What would you say to a bison? I don't know. My head's sounding like giddy up or something. That ain't gonna work.
Giddy up.
Yeah.
Well, you're close. You're close with giddy up, I guess.
Am I?
Yeah, you are. You are. You say yip yip.
Ah, that's close enough.
Is what you say. Yeah, yip yip. I guess you could reword giddy up into yip yip somehow. You need another P in there.
Yeah.
And you've got it basically. So to say yip yip, but then they take off into the sky, and then you can fly around with your air bison, your flying bison. However, Katara and Sokka have to take Aang to the Northern Water Tribe to be able to learn the essence of more water bending.
Correct.
But Aang is being hunted by the forces of the Fire Nation, who is the son of the current Fire Lord, you mentioned as being Ozai, and his son Prince Zuko, who is the banished son, and he's got a big scar on him.
Scar on his face.
Scar on his face, which is very. That's a big. It's a big symbol for people of the Fire Nation. To be burned, to be scarred. It is a big. You're dishonourable.
Yes.
And Zuko's all about the honour. Obviously, one of my favourite parts of the Avatar Last Airbender, the cartoon, is Prince Zuko, voiced by Dante Basco, who does a great job, and his obsession over regaining his honour, having honour, losing honour, and then getting his honour back. It's all about the honour for him, and I can agree with that. I think it's good to be honourable, Corey.
Yes.
Would you say you're honourable?
I would agree.
Honourable, yeah.
I would agree wholeheartedly.
Most honourably in his honour, he's also with Uncle Iroh, who loves tea.
He absolutely loves tea.
Loves tea, loves it. And Uncle Iroh is one of the better parts of the adaptation, I think.
Yeah.
Because you putting it all into his character, which I'm glad at.
Yeah. 100%.
You also might recognise the person that plays Iroh.
Funny enough, actually, while doing research for my weekly rec, I did look into him, and he is in quite a bit of Star Wars.
Yes, he is in quite a bit of Star Wars. He's Captain Carson Teva of the Aquilian Rangers of the Rangers of the New Republic. Captain Carson Teva flies his X-wing, and he's in the Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka. You can find him all about in the new Star Wars live-action series. So, as I'm sure you might recognise.
I do, actually. Yeah, we've covered Book of Boba Fett before.
Yeah, we have. So you might recognise Captain Carson Teva there as the Dragon of the West, which is General Iroh, and he's played by Paul. Let's shout him out. Paul Sung Hyung Lee. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. I'm very glad that he's come to this series and is, lending some of his acting prowess. And there's some great things for Iroh coming up. So, will he do the workout montage? I hope he does.
I would hope so.
From the third season.
Iroh is one of those characters as well, where it's probably one of the most favourite characters from the cartoon.
A lot of surprising stuff from Iroh, though. I think later in the series.
Yeah.
You get the scene with Toph. Obviously, we don't meet Toph in this first season, but later on we will meet Toph, and Toph and Iroh have quite a few good scenes together, and Iroh's sort of mentioning of his son, the death of his son in the War Against the Earth Nation, Nathan of Earthbenders, and his whole thing. He was a great general in the war, but he lost when he couldn't capture Ba Sing Se. Because there's no war in Ba Sing Se, Corey, as we know.
As we do.
And he later has to come to terms with the death of his son, and he sort of treats Zuko as almost the son that he never had, I think. But yeah, it's a great scene with Toph, and in the third season he comes into his own, really. So I'd like to see the sort of the evolution of Iroh, along with Zuko as well.
Yeah, again, both of them are massive fan favourites when it comes to cartoon, so hopefully...
Yeah.
And you know what, in the first episode, both of them were fairly good. I quite like both of them. It's a good start for both of them.
What do you think of... Let's move on to talking a bit more about the live-action version. The transference of style from animation to looking at real people.
Yep.
Obviously, we spend all day, every day, looking at human faces.
Correct.
And to transfer that from looking at a virtual animated face into looking at a face of a human being who is that character, and who is, the costumes and the everything. Obviously, they dress a bit ridiculously because it is animation.
Yeah.
And you can have your animated characters who aren't real people dress as ridiculously and wildly as you like, and it's going to work just fine.
Yeah.
When you transfer that into live action, again with the M. Night Shyamalan movie, it will come off a bit goofy, I'd say, because it's like a fantasy world, but it's not like sort of Lord of the Rings where it's sort of armor and cloak and whatever. These guys are wearing massive shoulder pads. They're wearing massive huge hats.
Yeah.
And they're wearing like their shoes have got big curls on them like clown shoes, and they're stomping around. I think that there is a bit of a disconnect there. It does make it slightly funny at some points, where you go, how do you act serious when you're dressed like that? I'm dressed like Van Gogh wall mosaic, and I'm looking around like I'm trying to act serious in this serious war scene, but I look like I've got pieces of paper mache on me, plasticine or whatever, right? It reminds me of when I was a kid and we had book day, and I wanted to go as one of my favourites, the Catosaurus.
Nice.
My dad spent all night making me a big styrofoam Stegosaurus tail, but when I realised this is quite ridiculous, but I still owned it though, and I also got to have a seat in the assembly because I couldn't sit down with it on.
Very nice.
I got a chair to sit down.
It's because of all that effort, they've got to...
Yeah, exactly. I was at the back of the room, but I did feel like the most important person there because I was on the seat.
Yeah.
Exactly. However, and the sort of unrealistic costume lends itself to be looking quite goofy, and even with some of the characters that appear later on in the show, like we have, obviously you might know Azula, who is the sister of Zuko. She appears later on in season 1, which is a kind of a departure because she appears in season 2, I think. She only shows up in season 2, and we don't actually see her in season 1 of the animated show. But apart from, I think briefly she's seen in sort of flashbacks and stuff like that. But we don't actually get her sort of in the present, which we do here. So they do a kind of departure to that.
Yeah.
Even though I quite like just Azula's craziness and Ty Lee and May, who are fun. So I think it was nice to see them pop up as well. I was like, oh, this is cool, but we're getting them a bit early than we would get them in the animated show. But again, adaptation,
Yeah, there's going to be, bits
it's
and
forgiven.
Pieces. Yeah,
that's forgiven for changes. Yeah, like the departure of the sort of change to the Earth King, who I think is named Boomy. I don't know if is that correct?
Possibly, I think so.
You remember the Earth, that being the Earth King's name?
It's ringing a bell.
Yeah. the Earth King Boomy, they do sort of see different things with him as opposed to what his story was in the show, and I can understand why the changes were made. To be honest, because there's limited episodes here. You won't. There's they have like the books of like the Book of Water, the Book of Earth, Book of Fire, and they do the different elements. And this first season is just meant to be the Water Book.
Yep.
And nothing beyond that, but they kind of meld bits of the Earth Book as well with Azula's parts and things like that. They sort of do a bridge together of the two of them, which I understand is natural because you've got a show with not as many episodes as the cartoon.
Yep.
And longer episodes at
Yep.
that. Like each episode of this show is about 50 minutes to an hour of television, basically. Might as well be 45 minutes around there. And whereas the cartoon was 20 minutes, quite strictly.
Yeah.
You know, but it used those 20 minutes so well that again, I'm at the minute. I don't want to date this episode, but I'm watching X-Men '97.
Yeah.
And the amount they use their 20 minutes so well that it feels like no time's passed at all. They've watched something which is much longer than what you've actually watched.
Yeah.
As well as what we're going to review in the next few weeks. Bad Batch season 3 does the same thing.
It does do the same thing, yeah.
Where it's I've been following it along week to week, and using those 25 minutes at most, 25, 30 minutes, using that half an hour slot to 25 minutes is so crucial to get right. And it's hard to write as well. It's hard to limit yourself to such a short thing.
Yeah.
Say, oh yeah, I could do, 25-minute scripts, no problem. But it's harder than you think.
It's much harder than you think.
It's much harder than you think because you get to like the 20th, 10th page and you think, goodness, I've only got 10 more pages. 10, 15 more pages. I've got to, get this around quick, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot harder than you think. So, to make something of such quality and to bring so many people on to be involved in it, I think is just a real fantastic achievement in not only animation, but also in storytelling as well. But that's where the live action version could have succeeded, where we have more time to tell. Yeah. So that's why we end up getting 2 to 3. I'd say 2 to 3 episodes of the animated show in one episode of the television show. Do you think?
Yeah.
Because later on, if you're familiar with sort of Jet and his sort of scoundrel type, Han Solo type Jet, he's like a bit of a scoundrel, a bit of a rebel, and he sort of brings in Katara and whatnot, and tries to trick her when he's really just as bad, if not worse, than the Fire Nation. But he believes he's doing good by fighting the Fire Nation. His story and June's story as well are put together in the same episode. And you think, oh well, that's okay. I understand that.
Yeah,
so you can bridge them and whatnot, and you end up bridging them together. So okay, so this is how it goes. So this goes, this goes, this, and there's a string of three animated episodes. If you know the animated series very well, and I know the first season of Avatar: Last Airbender very well, because I've probably seen it like 2 to 3 times. Well, no, once probably intentionally when I was like rewatching the show.
Yeah.
And then I watch it again. But when you're a kid, you sort of catch all the episodes gradually, and you end up sort of learning it all via osmosis.
Yes.
So even if you've missed an episode here and there, you kind of get what you kind of get where you are anyway in the story, right?
Yeah.
Which I'm sure is what you've done with Avatar.
That's what I did growing up. Yeah.
Yeah, and you've also confessed to doing the same with Clone Wars whenever we talk about the season of Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
Yep. Whatever happened to be on, that's just whatever episode was on. That's what I watched.
Yeah, and then what you watched. So eventually you've watched all the episodes. Might not be in the correct order.
No.
But eventually you think you've seen enough to go, oh, I think I've seen this before.
Yeah.
Just hopping from season to season. Which with the Clone Wars is kind of difficult because the animation quality improves.
It does, yeah.
Whereas Avatar: Last Airbender, it somewhat stays the same, which isn't bad, but it's 2D animation as opposed to 3D, and the 2D animation style is kept so well. I think it does improve, but it's in more subtler ways than the Clone Wars. How the Clone Wars becomes more realistic.
Yeah.
And obviously, Avatar: Last Airbender is a 2D animation, but it improves in the flowiness of it in a way. Like when the bending powers are very important. It's the Last Airbender.
Exactly.
The firebenders and earthbenders and waterbenders. And airbenders. And they all have to bend in their own specific, unique way. But it's almost like a martial art, Corey, you'd be familiar. Where you've got to flow with the arms and, with the Fire Nation, that it's a lot of power and a lot of punching and kicking. But when you're Earthbender, it's sort of, strong movements, like a strong base, stomping and whatever, bringing the earth up, right? But when you're a waterbender, it's about flowing and a lot of sort of wispy motions to control the water. Yeah, on the right track here, I think.
I think you are as well.
Yeah, good. I'm glad, Corey. I'm glad for the support. But it's all about the difference in movement and speed and things like that. And it was and the animation got better at carrying it that way, is what I'm saying. Got better at portraying it that way. Whereas, in M. Night Shyamalan, we had, 5 dancing men, 1 floating rock. That kind of thing. I don't forget that. I bet have you seen that clip?
I've seen, yes.
Yeah, you've seen that clip where the guys go, huh, 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 ha, and then just one pebble flies off the ground. Like, wow, that will get him, guys.
That's very good.
Very effective.
It's just going to work.
Yeah, it does. It does, because it hits one Fire Nation soldier.
Compare that to the first episode of this, where that one Earth guy flings about, I don't know, like hundreds of rocks at them.
Yeah, hundreds of rocks at them. Or in the show, where the equivalent of 5 Earthbenders can lift like a massive tank or something, right? Or this massive machine of death. Whereas 5 guys in the M. Night Shyamalan version can lift a rock and hit a man.
Yeah.
And that's it. 1 rock,
that's all
1 man.
Yeah.
For all they can do. Is that, that's. I think we should. I obviously said that Avatar: Last Airbender, the live action film, is horrible.
Yeah, it's not great.
But it's not great, no. But I think watching it is sort of an experience in itself. Similar to how, like, when you watch anything that you think that is sort of universally bad.
Yeah.
And how much, it was going to be much longer, and then it got cut and stuff like that. But I think a series lends more well to the animation style and honouring that animation style with a live action version, which can play out the beats.
Yeah. As
a film, which can't in 2 hours 30 or whatever long it is.
There's too much to put into the film.
Yeah, too much to condense. Yeah, exactly. And let's talk about a couple of the characters here. Sokka, obviously, bit of a comic relief character.
He is just around. He can't bend. No. He is just there. He's got a boomerang. He has got a boomerang. He is just a comedy character. He is there, and he's not too bad. He's, again, one of those ones in the animated series. Is a somewhat popular, very popular character.
Shines through in the animated series, I think. Especially to the arc in season 3 where he kind of doesn't know what to do with himself. Yeah. Has to find something, has to find some purpose. And we have Katara as well. Tell us about good old Katara.
So she is part of the tribe, and she's the only waterbender in that tribe. Mm-hmm. And she's initially not very good, but starts to learn from Aang. He teaches her how to control. And even in the first episode, we see it. Zuko fires a big old fireball at them, and straight away, bang, she's got it. She can put it out. Yep. And so she is your resident waterbender.
With the waterbender, yeah, of course. And she helps teach Aang how to waterbend. Because she knows a little bit here and there from waterbending, from the books, because obviously their father left to the war to go and fight the Fire Nation.
And they never came back.
And they're left in the village. Sokka is the protector of the village. Yep. And with his army of sort of child soldiers. And then we have Katara learning waterbending sort of secretly and talking to the old grandmother. Yes. Sort of the old wise sage grandmother who tells her all about the Avatar and the waterbending. And yes, that's a very Katara's sort of noble story of becoming, the small southern water tribe girl into the sort of great hero of the Water Nation, I think. Yeah. And all the water tribes. Which is just fantastic. Again, character development across the series. Yep. And who else do we have that we've not mentioned? They decide just to show us who the Fire Lord is in the first episode.
Yeah, why not?
Which they don't do in the animated show. They kind of keep him in the shadows a bit until the 3rd season where they show us him, and we never even see him fight until the last few episodes. I think we kind of see him glimpses here and there, but they show us. I think it's Daniel Day Kim who plays the Fire Lord from Lost and who does a great job. In the animated show, do you know who voices the Fire Lord?
I don't. Enlighten me.
It's Mark Hamill.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, that's Luke Skywalker, there as the Fire Lord, yeah. Also known as the Joker.
Yes.
Known as the Joker from Batman the Animated Series. And he does a great job both times, all 3 times. And he joined the show because after watching after watching and seeing sort of the animation and the script, he thought that it would be a great show to sort of educate children, sort of talk up to them rather than talk down to them, to kind of help boost their morals and good messages and things like that. So, and also to give some complex characters, which they are. Zuko.
They are very complex characters.
Zuko and Katara are very complex indeed, especially Toph to round out to the second.
Yep.
In the second season. Now let's give Avatar weekly rec. I'll give the rating to you first, Corey.
Okay. I'm quite enjoying it. I think from what I've seen so far, adaptation wise, it's doing a pretty decent job. I think it looks the part. The effects are very good. I think for the most part, with costumes, they've done the best they can do.
Okay.
I think the cast is pretty good as well. So I would say it's a very solid start. So I'm going to go roughly in the realm of a 7.5 to an 8.
Okay, Corey.
You are chuckling to yourself.
I am chuckling to myself, yeah. I'm going to give it an 8.
Okay.
And I'm going to move swiftly on just before you do your weekly rec, Corey.
Okay, what have you found?
I've got a bit of a segment idea here.
Oh, God.
You might remember when last time we started talking about Avatar Last Airbender, we were talking about what the stars of British game show The Chase,
would be
as benders, right?
Okay.
So I've found random celebrity generator here, which is going to give us the names of random celebrities, and we are going to give them a bending power.
Okay.
Okay? Are you game for this, Corey?
Yeah, why not?
Alright. Right, let's click this. Right, our first name, we've got James Earl Jones.
Oh.
Darth Vader. Mufasa. What is he? What is his bending? I think I've got an idea.
I have an idea. It's leaning towards more than one, I think.
Right, I'm going to go Firebender.
That's what I had in my head. I'm thinking Darth Vader. I'm thinking
Darth Vader. He's got to have the fire powers. I could see him as a fire general, fire nation.
Oh, he's got to be high up.
General, yeah, with great fire powers. Right, okay, let's click. You click rerun. It brings you else. Right. Dean.
Oh.
The artist Bruce Springsteen.
That's a bit harder one to do.
I think my initial thing is to say maybe Waterbender.
He's a musician.
Musician, yeah.
Maybe a bit calm. So he's got to be like water or earth. He's got to be one of them two.
Yeah.
Potentially water. Why not?
Okay. Water. Right, next we've got Christian Bale.
Oh. Okay, yeah, again, he's got to be strong.
Himself. Yeah, strong.
So, potentially
I'm thinking
earth?
fire again.
It's earth or fire for me.
Maybe earth?
Because he's got to be big and strong.
Okay. Earth, wind and fire. Yeah. Alright, next we've got click rerun here. Emma Stone.
Oh.
Well, the name like Emma Stone, you've got to go earthbending,
yeah.
I think. Okay.
That was nice and easy.
Yeah. Next we've got... Oh, this is a weird one. Jimmy Carr. British comedian Jimmy Carr. I was going to say water, maybe?
Yeah, sure.
But I don't know.
I don't know.
Next. I don't know who that is. It's a person called Gina. I just mispronounce her name. Gina Gogian. Gogean.
I don't know who
I'm sorry,
that
who
is.
is Gina Gogian if you're listening. I don't know who you are. Sorry, we're going to skip you. This is someone else I don't know. Rita Hayworth. The picture's in black and white.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who you are, Rita Hayworth. Right, next. Oh, Lionel Messi.
Oh.
We can do a footballer, I suppose.
Yeah,
I'd say...
my head's saying earth because he plays football, he's on grass.
Yeah, earth, yeah, exactly. Good idea.
There we go.
Colin Farrell. Oh, this should be good.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Colin Farrell. I like Colin Farrell, I'm a fan.
Yeah, he's good.
I'm going to say maybe fire.
Potentially.
He's got the Sparky's got the fire. I think
Yeah,
Colin-
yeah.
Colin
You know
Farrell.
what? Yeah, go for it.
Right, next. The Beastie Boys. I'll give this to you, Corey.
As a collective.
As a collective, they're a group and they've all got to have one bending skill.
How many's in the group?
3, it looks like.
Okay, so I can't. Okay, I was going to do this for one each. I mean, we could just go one each
All right.
bar air.
I guess
one each
so.
bar air.
Alright, this next one I'll give to you as well.
Okay, what we got?
And we've got... I don't know who that is.
Come on, give me someone I know.
I'm going to try... Alright, Julie and
Okay.
Drew. Hills are alive with the sound of music.
Okay. Again, I'm feeling a bit calmer with this one, I think. So I might go water. You know, nice and.
Alright, I was going to go air.
Okay, we've been
gonna
reserved.
go
We've been
airbender.
reserved on air.
Yeah, we have been reserved on air. More people need to become an airbender. Right. I don't know who that is. Isn't Oh, hey, oh my... Of all the names... Right, I'll give you 3 guesses as to who this is. I'm not lying, his name's come up. I'm not lying.
Okay, Mark Lebet.
No.
Bradley Walsh.
No, think people who we have mentioned on this show before.
Samuel Jackson.
Jason Bradbury.
Okay.
Jason Bradbury's there. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
What would he be?
I'm not kidding. He's there. I'll take a picture of this and we can show it on the episodes. But his name has come up on the random celebrity generator.
What would he be?
Oh, he loves technology.
He loves technology.
There's not much technology.
No.
I'd say maybe. Well, the Fire Nation make a lot of technology. Maybe he'd be Fire Nation.
Could be.
Like an inventor, I'd imagine.
Just
You know.
test out all the gadgets before
Yeah.
they use them. Yeah.
Earthbenders also have inventions, so he could also be an Earthbender, I
Mm.
think. Right, I don't know who that is. Right, okay, let's do a couple more.
Okay.
Oh, Gladys Knight.
Oh,
Do you know Gladys Knight?
I think so. Oh.
I say air. I'm gonna go for another airbender. for
Again,
that
we've been
one.
reserved for air, so yeah,
Yeah,
put,
we have
put
been
more
reserved
in
with
there.
airbending. I don't know who that is. They're coming with a lot of black and white people who I assume from the 60s and 70s. Oh, Frank Sinatra.
Oh,
I'll give this one to you.
Frank Sinatra. He's quite. I don't want to keep saying musicians end up becoming like.
Waterbenders.
Yeah. Let's give him.
That might be an earthbender, I think.
Yeah, go on. Let's give him an Earth.
Jim Carrey has come up.
Oh.
The Mask.
What's he
Truman
been?
Show.
Oh,
What
true.
is-
Yeah, I'm trying to think what he's been in and see if he's kind of got any affiliation, but I don't think he does.
I think Earthbender.
Could
If
be.
not, he reminds me of Boomy, the crazy Earth King.
Could be.
I
That's
think-
that's not a bad shout.
No, yeah. I'd say I'd go for Earthbender. I don't know who that is. Right, I'll
Come on, we need
Michael Phelps. Nice.
Michael Phelps. We need a good one. Well, that's
He's a
obvious.
waterbender.
That's a waterbender.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got to be a waterbender. Yeah, so he can swim really fast.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's got to be a waterbender. He's got to be a waterbender, Michael Phelps. Right, one more. Sigourney Weaver. Oh, that's
Oh.
great. Good pick. Good pick, random celebrity generator. Right, last one. Sigourney Weaver.
Oh, flubberer. I'm getting a bit of air. Don't know why.
A bit of air. I
Yeah.
think air. Very noble, very powerful element. I'd say either air or fire for me.
Could
I
be.
think. So I'll happily go with your back on air. So for the weekly rec, it is you, Corey. What
It's
have we got for
me.
the weekly rec?
So I had a couple ideas.
That was a fun exercise. I'm sorry. I
It
didn't mean
was.
to do
It
that.
was. We should bring
It
that
was.
back. Any
We
other
should
time
bring that back.
that's applicable.
Yeah, we should.
So I was thinking. I had a couple of ideas. I was looking through people in the cast, and this cast is in all fairness a fairly new cast. Not many people have things like a back catalogue of stuff. and I was like, okay, well, what do I do? What do I do? And then I thought, actually, you know what? When I was younger, in my early days, about 10 years old, right? What was quite big? I know it was quite big. Flash games.
Right.
Yeah, good old Flash
I
games.
don't know where you're going with this,
On the
Corey.
PC. So I used
Okay.
to play quite a lot of Flash games. Cartoon
Adobe
Network had
Flash
loads
is
of
what I
Flash
think you
games.
mean.
Yeah, you'd go on websites and you'd play some, like mini clip and that kind of thing.
Yeah, go on.
Avatar had some fantastic Flash
Right.
games,
Yeah.
but you can still play to this day, even though Flash doesn't exist.
Right, okay. Well, how about you get... Is this... Okay, give me
Yep.
one.
So you've got Avatar Fortress
Okay.
or Avatar Arena Fight. Both of them are really good.
Avatar Fortress Fight. Avatar Fortress Fight.
Yep. It's like you've got a temple and you fling stuff at the other temple on the other side. It's a great time.
Right, okay.
And then you've got Avatar Arena Fight, where you're two benders fighting in not quite like a Tekken style. You do a move, they do a move,
Oh, it's like
back
a
and
fighting
forth.
game. For an
And
Avatar.
I had hours of time on that.
I bet you did.
Hours of time.
Okay, sure. Tie-in game for Avatar: Last Airbender. And what would you rate Avatar Fortress Fight? There's an Avatar Fortress Fight 2.
There is. I don't think I played that one.
There's Fortress Fight. There's Avatar Match. Have you ever played Avatar Match?
I don't think so.
There's the Avatar Four Nations Tournament.
Very nice.
There's more of them. Yeah, they're in the sort of realm of Avatar: The Last Airbender Flash games. What would you rate Avatar: The Last Airbender? The Flash game collection, let's call it.
I would give him a 7.5. It's a really good
right,
time.
okay, that's quite high, Corey.
I enjoyed
game.
it. There's a bit of
Things have got
nostalgia.
lower.
It's a bit of nostalgia
All right.
talking.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. Last 5 minutes. Should we do more celebrity generators?
Yeah, go on.
All right. Because this is so much fun. This is honestly a lot of fun. All right. I don't know who that is. She's got a tennis racket in her hand. Sorry, Justine Henin. I'm gonna say Earthbender.
Okay, fair enough.
They're picking a lot of. Can you I wonder? Oh, good.
Can you
it's
filter?
combining, yeah. You can put actor, athlete, singer,
There we go.
presenter. Let's go actor.
Yeah, would know them.
Yeah, we know them. Sorry, Jim Courier, whatever sport you do. Emily Watson. Oh,
Oh,
do you know Emily Watson?
I think so. Ooh,
I'd say Earth.
okay.
I think
I
That's
can
just
I can
random.
see that.
Okay, Earth. Whoopi Goldberg. Corey.
Oh, let's go fire. I feel like she can bring that heat,
Yeah, bring the heat. Yeah. Ian McKellen. Corey.
Oh, he's I'm just picturing Gandalf in my head.
Gandalf. Magneto. He can basically control an element already.
He can. He gets his own.
Metalbender. Well, no, if you're an Earthbender, you can be a Metalbender.
There we go. So he's an Earthbender.
So he's an Earthbender, but he's got the power to. He's such a powerful Earthbender. He can move metal.
Exactly.
Just like Toph. Right. I don't know who that is. I'm sorry, Rod Steiger. Right. Let's see if we can find somebody else. All right. Rerun. Bruce Lee. Corey, go on.
So my head goes fire
Yeah.
because dragon. But
Dragon. Yeah.
Bruce Lee's famous quote is "Be water."
Yes, you got to flow like water.
So I'm like, there's a couple options here.
He could. I'd say maybe he's the Avatar.
Yeah, that would make sense. He can do all of them.
Yeah, he can do all of them. He can do all of them. I think that's probably the most perfect pick of making Bruce Lee the Avatar. And that was our review of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Thank you very much for listening. It's goodbye from me, goodbye, and a goodbye from Corey.
Goodbye.